Mocosas, bienvenidas una vez más al podcast en donde hablamos chismes, traumas familiares y hasta de tus primas y tías, bitch. Yo soy su host Brayan y esto es Mocosas Anónimas. Y hablando de chismes y traumas familiares, Mocosas, el día de hoy les tengo una invitada especial, súper especial para mí, porque ella es una persona que conocí cuando estaba en la universidad and we got honestly really close during that time. So please help me welcome my good friend Marissa.
Hi.
¿Cómo estás, amiga?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Bien, ¿cómo te ha ido?
Dos, tres. Pero ahí vamos.
Ay, no, pues como pueden ver en el título de este video, Mocosas, el día de hoy vamos a hablar de Toxica Talks, Mari-Achi y más. Mi amiga Marissa tiene muchísima experiencia en la industria del mariachi, entonces queremos platicar un poquito de eso, ya que se acerca el 15 de septiembre, para cuando estén viendo este video ya va a ser como este fin de semana, creo. Voy a pasar la cámara a Marissa para que ella les platique un poquito de ella, de quién es y a qué se dedica.
Hi, my name is Marissa Hernandez. I grew up in Muleshoe, Texas, which was only about 45 minutes from Brayan, but we never met until college. Until college cheer. We cheered together in college. And Brayan has been with me throughout my musical journey. In both undergrad, grad school, y hasta ahora. Even went with my parents to go watch my first ever Mari-Achi concert at Texas State in San Marcos. So I have my bachelor's of music in vocal performance y también a master's in music in vocal performance también. My bachelor's was in classical music, my master's was in Latin American music, which is where I specify and specialize in mariachi and salsa music. So during the week I have a full-time job, and on the weekends you see me playing my guitarra at gigs.
And singing.
And singing, yeah. So my predominant instrument is voice.
Yeah.
Because, and guitar is my secondary. So if you need a mariachi, hit Brayan up for my number so I can go and gig, and I will gladly take your money and you will not be disappointed, I promise.
Let's talk a little bit about basically how we met. You and I, obviously we already said that we met in college, but do you remember exactly like when was the first time that you and I spoke?
Aside from like a casual hi, it was the brewery where we were eating. The best homemade pizza in Portales. It's oven.
It is good.
Pizza,
it's oven brick. Brick
oven.
Yeah, brick oven pizza. So good.
Super good. Haven't been there in years, so I can't vouch for that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's good.
Then. And they had just opened around that time.
Yeah,
so it was very new.
Very new.
And this was what, 20? Hi, Blue.
This is my child.
This was
2016.
2016.
Yeah, 2016. Because
really?
they already started school at UNMU, right? Like they already started this semester?
Who? Nate?
No, like they started this semester at UNMU.
Oh yeah, they started this semester.
Yeah, because 2016 was my senior year. So 8 years.
Oh, so that was your senior year. That's crazy. That was my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm. And Nady's freshman year.
And Nady's freshman year, yeah. So that's kind of how we... Yeah, so we met... Obviously, we met through cheer, and then that was the first night that we had like that bonding thing at the brewery, and then we bonded over the same car because we were driving the same car, same color car. I don't remember if it was me or you that noticed the keys or something.
Yeah.
Because I remember that...
Oh, because with Camaros, they have like... There was a recall on the keys. Right? If you push the button and the key would come out. But we couldn't do that anymore.
No, I had two separate ones, and then I had the button.
And then I had the one with the flip out key, but I also had the key that I used. Key. Yeah.
So they're like, oh my gosh, you drive a Camaro. Yeah, me too.
And that's when we became besties.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we started. Look at Blue smiling on the camera.
He's looking at himself.
Hopefully we get some doggy sponsorships with this. So tell me a little bit about Blue since he's here and he's listening to us talk.
So this is my baby. He's also known Brayan since he was a baby. I've had Blue also 8 years, for as long as my friendship with Brayan has been in the works.
So Blue is basically a representation of our friendship.
Literally, Blue is a representation of the length of our friendship. I got Blue senior year, also literally probably around the same time I started cheer, and it was not a friendly dynamic between me and my child because he ate my cheerleading backpack and my cheerleading uniforms. Shout out to Kara for not getting me in trouble, and she laughed because I mean my dog ate my cheerleading uniform. You know, it is what it is.
It's a good thing that she understood.
Yeah, but he was not the best puppy. It was a lot of training. But I've had him since then. He is with me today because I had to bring him to the vet as an emergency visit because he has had 2 major surgeries, and we had a little scare this week, so we just brought him in to make sure he's okay. Bless you, Bubba. And Blue is okay and healing, and he is recovering. Thank goodness.
That's good.
And shout out to everybody that contributed to his raffle to help pay for his expenses because it was about $10K. So my dog is officially worth $10K, but much more than that because of the good memories. As you can see, he's a good boy.
And he's what, 7 now?
No, he's 8. He just turned 8 on June 27th. He turned 8.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah. Blue has been in the picture as long as Brian's been in the picture because I would go to cheer practice and tell Brian he did this, he ate this.
Yes, that was the first year of us knowing each other. So
Brian would go with me to pick up my child,
yes, I remember
in his
that
Camaro.
too. In my Camaro, yeah, at the time. Oh my gosh, let's talk a little bit of our cheer memories. Is there like a specific like core memory that you remember? It's like maybe being at practice or on the sidelines or workouts or...
well, workouts we didn't really get to work out together because you were always working. So yeah, he would have a separate workout with LB. Yeah. Shout out to LB, he was awesome, our strength and conditioning coach. We
kept us in shape.
Yeah, we were in the best
shape ever
of our lives. Then real life started and pues ya como ven. Pero ahí vamos para atrás.
Poco a poco.
Yeah, I think core memories for cheer. We had fun at football games and stuff, you know, but I really enjoyed basketball games just because we started off with a lot of girls and they slowly I don't want to say died off because they didn't literally die off, but they all quit.
Yeah,
you know?
started quitting and stuff.
Yeah, and so another person that I was close to on the cheer team, aside from Brian, was our friend Nady, who went to school with Brian, like grew up with Brian. And we were the only 3 like hardcore Mexicans on the team. Like we were like paisa. And then it helped that we're all from Chihuahua. Like my parents were born and raised in Chihuahua.
Yes.
So like it was just nice. Like, oh my gosh, people like we're all from the same place, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I think we were the only ones on the team that spoke Spanish.
Yes, we were the only Spanish-speaking girls.
The only 3.
And boy on the team.
Boy.
Pues sí, ya saben. En esos tiempos. But yeah, like it was like this side of the girls competing against this side.
And then us in the middle.
And then us, the little Mexicans in the middle. And you could literally, I wish we had video of that where we just didn't care. The Mexicans of us, like we just didn't care. We were just looking at this group. Oh, that was a cool step. Oh, that was really good
cool,
too.
Yeah.
I could have done better. You know, it was just like that. But they were always like kind of competing against each other. And we just minded our own business. Just in the middle,
minding our business. I'm like, I'm here for the scholarship.
But it was like those, like, we would do like, they'd be doing like these full-on extensions and flips and chairs. like
let's do it 2 men.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
It was just so chill with just us 3. Like, we just didn't care and we had so much fun.
We cared.
We cared, but like, it was just a thing of like...
We didn't care to get involved in the drama.
Yeah, it was just like, ustedes para allá, nosotros para acá.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
We were chill with everybody.
Our little triangle was like the perfect divider between the 2 competitive sides. But it was a lot of fun, like, nos llevamos bien con estas y también con estas.
Sí.
And, you know, we were just like the middleman. Literally the middleman, like, in between stunts and stuff. And yeah, that was like core memory because I think it was just like, that was our time to like really bond. Because like they were all in their world and they were all in their world.
And we were in
just in our little,
yeah.
You know, and I remember, and this is how close we got pretty fast. Like my senior night, Brayan, I got into like a little argument. This is why it's called Toxica talks, because your girl used to be a little toxic. I got into an argument with my ex-boyfriend, or my boyfriend at the time, and he was gonna walk me in the middle of the court. And my senior night, Brayan was gonna walk me because I was just that. I showed up in shambles. I was in tears.
Yeah,
I was so upset, and like that's how close me and Brayan got in that short amount of time, because he was gonna walk me my senior night because my parents couldn't make it for whatever reason. So that just goes to show how quickly we became friends. And I mean, 8 years later, and we're still here.
And we still keep in touch, and we still been friends since then.
Yeah.
What was it like after you graduated for you? Like life after college, basically.
Life after college.
Because you took a little bit of time off before you went into your Masters, right?
So life after college was weird because uno pone, dios dispone. And it's like I had all these plans of like doing X, Y, and Z, and then one thing ended and it was like catapulted. And so I took a gap year. I knew that I didn't want to be a teacher because kids como que no me, you know, like they're cute and all, and I know,
Do you ever want any kids?
I don't know.
No?
Like, I'm not going to say never.
Yeah.
I'm going to say if I were to meet the person that I feel is worthy enough for me to give that kind of sacrifice to, then I would.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm the one that would have to
do
everything. And childbirth scares the living shit out of me. Like,
woman.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Young girls' bodies go through a lot.
I'm scared. But it's also like, I'm very, and I can say this and not feel any type of way, I'm very selfish. Like, I like my time. I like doing what I want to do when I want to do it. I like the freedom of things, and I know having a kid completely changes that. I mean, even with Blue, like, I feel guilty leaving Blue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've canceled so many plans for my dog. But it's like a thing of, like, having kids is a whole
another level.
It's a whole other level.
Yeah, it's way different.
Like, if I feel this way about my dog, I can't even imagine how I could feel that way about a kid. Like,
having a kid,
it's on all the time. So I don't know. I think I'd have to meet the right person. And I'd have to feel secure.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to be like, this is endgame because I'm stuck with you forever. Like, especially if you have a kid. Like,
at least 18 years, bitch.
Yeah, like, that's a huge commitment.
That is a huge commitment.
Yeah. So I would say that, but I don't know. I did take that gap year because, I don't know, like, being a teacher is one thing. I can give lessons one-on-one, like voice or guitar, that's fine. Because it's just like me and somebody else. And I know their level, and I'm like, okay, then we'll take it at your pace. As to where, like, if there's 20 of those little gremlins, hell no. You know what I mean? Like, they're all scattered. Or I could see myself being a professor at a university where they're already majoring in music, and they know that that's what they want to do. So it's different. Like, I would want the level of commitment that I'm giving if I were to become, like, a professor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I always knew. So I knew going into like elementary or junior high as a music teacher, hell no. So I took my gap year. Lo and behold, I worked at a daycare.
During the gap year?
During my gap year, I worked at a daycare. But like those little kids literally like,
I remember that.
Oh man, they were like the light of my life because I was in such a dark place, and like just hearing them like need me or want to be around me.
Well, I mean, teaching is very rewarding whenever you work with kids like that too. So it might, unfortunately, sadly, it doesn't pay a whole lot, but at the end of the day, it's very rewarding because you build those close connections,
like
those close bonds.
Those little kids right now that were like a year and a half, almost 2. Now they're like in 1st and 2nd grade.
It's crazy, huh?
And it makes me so sad.
It's so crazy because like whenever after you graduated, and of course I still stayed at Eastern and stuff. My senior year, I started coaching gymnastics. So a lot of those kids that I used to coach during that time, like they're all either already in high school or even graduated. Like it's so crazy because we're talking 4 or 5 years ago that I used to coach him.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And I see like their moms added me on Facebook, and I'll see like their updates like first day of kindergarten. I'm like, what do you mean? Like I expect to go back to the daycare and still see the little ones, you know,
that's
like
so crazy.
And it is rewarding. You get to see them grow, but at the same time, it's just like But it was cool because like like at 5 o'clock, I te la, te lo llevas. So yeah, it's very different. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to sing in Spanish because I was tired of like the classical like singing in German, Italian, and French, and it's
yes.
just like nobody understands what I'm saying, you know. It gets tiring. Because Brayan did go to my undergrad stuff and whatnot, so he saw the concerts of like all of that, but he also got to hear me sing in Spanish and stuff, and like that's where my heart of heart was, and so.
You also probably feel like a closer connection because obviously like your parents are from Mexico, you have that background.
Yeah, like I never realized because like where we grew up, it's like we're very sheltered, and
it's literally all small towns like.
Even Lubbock, like you wouldn't realize like how tiny it is here until you leave, and I mean. This is gonna be controversial, but we grew up very sheltered. Like our area is very sheltered in the sense of like. It's this way of thinking and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't have, and if you have a mind of your own, you're wrong. You know, and so.
This is the way it is here, and we're not gonna change our.
It's not gonna change unless like something drastic happens. Yeah, and so I knew that I wanted to sing in Spanish. It wasn't gonna be anywhere near this area and stuff. So I auditioned at Texas State University for their master's program in vocal performance, and I got in.
Was that your first choice for your master's?
I think that was my only choice, if I'm honest with you, just because I knew that they had a Spanish like program in a sense, you know.
That entire area is very.
But I feel like if I would have done more research, I would have gone somewhere else. Cause like now, like when I was in San Marcos, I was like, what, they have a school at UTRGV in Edinburgh, you know what I mean? Like, and I didn't think like I think when you grow up here, it's like the biggest you could do is like Texas Tech, or like you stay in Texas, or like UNM, if that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, like
if you're in New Mexico, you never think of like going like New York, LA.
Yeah, you don't
like,
ever think of going out of state like farther away.
So when I was in school and I'm like, I could have gone to LA for like UCLA for like ethnomusicology or something. You know, I was just like, not that I regretted my decision, but it did make me think like I should have done more research. I'm very grateful for Texas State because, I mean, the way I've grown vocally from ENMU to Texas State was a drastic difference. And even now, like, I sang for Brayan like maybe like 2-3 months ago, and from singing from like when I graduated to like then. Like,
and I have not heard you sing in a while.
Been a minute,
like, we're talking like a couple years.
Yeah.
So to see your
even that growth from after graduation.
And
it's different. So I was at Texas State for 2 years doing Mari-Achi and salsa, and that was probably the best decision of my life because moving to San Marcos, which is right in between Austin and San Antonio, it allowed me to explore my culture because where you grow up here, everything is so sheltered, and it's like you have to like hide your Mexicanism in a sense. You know what I mean? Like you have to downplay it.
Towns like that. Yes.
Like it's like.
A lot of those little towns are. I don't want to say a little.
I don't want to say
conservative.
Yeah, in a nice way to put it, and that's not nice. It's gonna come out really bad. Whitewashed is like the way that I grew up in like the town that I am. Even though we're predominantly Hispanic, it is still very whitewashed in this box that you stay in. So moving to San Marcos and seeing how diverse it is, not just like your culture, it's just everything is so diverse, and it's so everybody embraces their culture.
It's a lot more cultural over there.
Everything.
Everywhere you turn, there's somebody speaking Spanish over there.
Yes, and it's like uno de como mexicano se acostumbra beso, you know what I mean? Like here you kind of like, do I or do I not with like the people from here?
It's just like un abracito and like a little pat on the back.
Over there it's like, oh, I've known you forever, here's a hug and a kiss on both cheeks, you know, and everybody's super welcoming. And I was grateful because I literally lived in a town of like 5,000 people, and I moved to like one of the major cities, or in between two major cities. But everybody was super welcoming and super helpful, and it allowed me to embrace my culture. You know, like I was not a fan of Mariachi music at all. I did not want to do it. I just wanted to sing in Spanish. I didn't care. And I ended up falling in love with it. Like I don't know, like it's just like, it's so much deeper. And like when you realize like this is like the music of our people, like Mariachi music is like the music. It's just like the lyrics are so much deeper. The music is, it just makes it all the more sweeter. And the fact that this is my culture and I get to represent my culture by doing something that I'm good at makes it that much sweeter.
So much better.
And that's why I do it on the weekends. You know, like,
yeah.
I love it. I mean, the cash is good too, but it's just like singing at a wedding or singing it out or anything, even a funeral. You know, it's like that is my way of showing my respect for my culture through my talent, through like the gift that God gave me.
Yeah. So you were you took a gap year and then you moved to San Marcos. You were in San Marcos for 2 years. Obviously, you built a lot of relationships there. Tell me a little bit more about that.
I still talk to my professors from there. Most of them. They were like my second parents. They helped me a lot. And they were very welcoming, and they understood the fact that I didn't have a background in Mari-Achi. Because since I didn't play guitar at the time, it was very frowned upon for just me to be a vocalist. And so I struggled with that because when I moved, it was like, oh yeah, like this is kind of like the new girl in a sense. And like, we're welcoming, but hold up, she only sings, like, you know. And I dealt with a lot of like, she's not a real mariachi because no toca nada. She doesn't sound mariachi, which I'm just like, what does that even mean? Like, and it's like, what does that even mean? And who are you to classify what a specific sound sounds like, you know? And it became very difficult, I think, my second year, because it was just like fighting those battles of like, am I enough just as a vocalist? And they made me second guess myself and my talent in a sense, because I was like, well, they've been doing this for years, so what if they see something different that I'm not seeing? Or what if they see something that I'm missing, you know? And my time at Texas State fluctuated in friendships and relationships. And I mean, I still talk to some people from there, pero unos que pensé que iba a tener toda la vida ya no.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but I am very grateful that I had them for as long as I did.
Yeah.
And I still care about them the same way. And, you know, I understand that in life, like, dynamics change. And stuff like that. And
I mean, it was part of your growth too.
Yeah,
so
and
like they were there.
Yeah, I think back to that time,
yeah.
and I'm like, maybe they were put in my path during that hard time to like help me go through all these rough patches to where I'm at now. And because I still think like maybe if I didn't have some of those friendships, like I wouldn't have even graduated. Like I would have just.
You would have came back. Yeah, because I remember you calling me your first week.
Oh my gosh!
There, and it was.
First of all, my first week was trash.
Calling me crying.
My first week of school was trash because my parents helped move me over there. We got into a car accident in Austin. We got rear-ended by this guy going 80. We ended up in the ER. So I had a concussion and whiplash after moving 7 hours away from home. My first day of school, so that was the first day. My first day of school, my car got towed.
Yeah, do you remember? I remember that. That's what I'm talking about. I remember you calling me, telling me that day. And
I thought somebody stole my car. I was so scared. But yeah, apparently they tow in major cities, which isn't something we're accustomed to because it's like park anywhere, leave your car there. Yake.
Was it like a kind of like a culture shock for you? Because obviously you grew up in Milshire, which is like super
we have
small.
One
stoplight, and then Portales, which has 2 stoplights.
And then I went to like 20 stoplights.
Yeah. If that is probably even more than that. Oh my gosh,
yeah. It's a blur.
Was it like a moment of damn, like I'm really way over here, and
I think that's when it
45 minutes away from your parents before.
Yeah, like I would go home every weekend when I lived in Portales. Like when I didn't have a football, even after a football game, I think I would leave. Now that I think about it,
it's a quick drive. I mean,
it's down the road.
Not even an hour, you know.
45 minutes.
Going from 45 minutes away from your parents to now 7 hours away from your parents. So what was that like?
I think that's when it set in. Like when I couldn't find my car, I'm like, oh shit, like
who do I call? My parents are 7 hours away.
And I did call my mom crying. I was like, somebody stole my car. And she's like, what do you mean? And it was like, somebody stole my car. Mochas and Javas, Grace at Mochas and Javas is the one that called. I remember her name. Don't ever park at Mochas and Javas because they will call a towing company on you. I still got coffee there afterwards. It was fine. But yeah, that's when it set in. Like I was like, oh shit, like. And I was late to my first class already, so I was like, I'll just park here. Because in Portales, you could park wherever. Like, you know, and our parking's like passes were like $15. No, they were free.
The permits?
The permits were free, right?
No, I think they were like $15.
$15?
Something
No, the
around
tickets
there.
were like $15.
What tickets?
Like if you got a ticket.
I don't know. I never got one on
Oh, I got
campus.
one.
I was so scared.
I got a ticket on campus.
I got stopped on my way to campus one time, but
Yeah, but I mean, like, it was just completely different from what I was used to.
Yeah.
Like our campus in Portales is it's a strip. Like
literally, yeah. And I've
like,
talked about this before about how there was like maybe
admin.
6,000 students.
Yeah,
like in total.
Yeah.
Like
our dorms.
total.
It's like our dorms, then the strips of all the buildings, then the admin building, and that's it. And our like arena and football field is on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Big road.
Yeah, the major highway.
Yeah.
So it was completely different. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, our campus at Texas State is huge. I mean, you went. It's all stairs. It was leg day every day.
Hills up and down everywhere.
Like,
yeah.
If you're not.
It's beautiful, but it's
we went to school on a river. It's breathtakingly beautiful. But yeah, and then I came home for Labor Day weekend because I was like, okay, nada que ver, you know, it was a fluke. And then I had emergency surgery the day I was supposed to leave. You remember?
I forgot about that.
My parents had to take me to the ER, and I had emergency surgery to get my gallbladder taken out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that was the day before I was gonna go back. I was supposed to catch a flight back.
Okay, so you obviously had all these obstacles at the very beginning of your master's experience, and
I was out of my master's program the first 3 weeks of school because then my incisions, I got out of the hospital and they got infected at the end of the week, and I had to go back in the hospital to get pumped with antibiotics.
How did you do it to stay so motivated to go back, knowing that everything was literally telling you no, go home?
Well, the fact that I had already sent my lease for 12 months,
okay,
right?
First of all,
but it was also a thing of like, and you know, like a lot of my professors told me to take like, just withdraw, you know, start the next semester. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like
I'm already here.
And it was a thing of like, is this gonna make me or break me? And in the music world, everything's cutthroat, and everybody is like, not out to get you, but it's like, how much can I like eat at you before you break? You know, because it's like the people that can take as much as they can are gonna be the ones on top. You know, and so to me, in that mindset and that moment of like, damn, like car accident, car got towed, emergency surgery, going back to the hospital, and then being so behind on all my classes
at the beginning.
It was just like, I don't have a choice. Like to me, I personally did not have a choice. It was like, you're gonna do it and you're gonna do it, like period, point blank. And I got all A's and 1 B that semester, and that B was an 89. And I was like, you know, I remember.
Professor, don't round up.
No, she doesn't. But it was like, I remember being in the hospital, doing my assignments.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, they're not gonna cut me any slack, you know, and
especially in a master's program.
In a master's program,
even in a bachelor's program, they're a little strict.
Yeah.
In a master's, like.
I mean, I was in the hospital with an IV, you know.
Yeah.
You think they would have been like, you know what, you know. But a lot of my professors were really patient with me in terms of like me being able to catch up. Others were not as patient, and were like, come, like, get back on it. And I understood, like that made me. I don't want to say stronger, but it made me have the mentality of like, this is a real world. Like life goes on, whether you're on it or not. And so there was that, and aside from having no previous experience in Mari-Achi music, like I was already way behind, like on your standard rep. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know anything. I think the only like, I mean, I knew your basics, like el rey, you know, like volver, like, you know, acá entre nos.
So a lot of those students, were they all local from the area, like they grew up knowing Mari-Achi and everything, and they just went to school there because that's all they knew, or?
So like that's where like the culture shock set in, and I realized how like sheltered we are here, because people came from all over. We had people from DFW, we had people from the Valley, local people already. My culture shock came when I realized that they had been doing Mariachi for years. Like in a sense of like they had these programs in junior high and high school. When
they were kids,
And that wasn't even a thought for us here.
Like
even now in Lubbock, I think they have like maybe three Mariachi programs, if I'm not mistaken. And then of course Texas Tech has the Mariachi program.
Right.
But it's like, it's nothing compared to like how established it is in like Central Texas or the Valley, or even in Cali and Las Vegas now. Like it's grown so much. But it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, they have like years on
them.
Yeah, and it's just like, and then some of them didn't even speak Spanish. Like I was shook. I'm like, do you know what you're singing? And they'd be like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like that's the only advantage I had on them. That like I
understood.
Yeah, I was fluent, but I know it was a lot. Like I was like shocked because of how they embraced the culture. Shocked about anything, like how diverse it was. Like you were accepted. Like I also did the salsa program, and we had a Korean, full-on Korean, doing the salsa program, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, you know. And like he literally like had moved from Korea just to go up and do our program. And I'm like, damn, that's so cool. I still talk to him.
Talk about diversity.
Yeah, he started. He has a salsa band in Korea right now.
Oh my god!
Like he started a salsa program over there, and I'm like, that's so cool.
That is so cool.
But I mean, yeah, it was probably one of the best decisions. Like looking back, I'm like, man, like I suffered because being away from all of y'all and being away from home, and I mean,
7 hours away.
I didn't take Blue with me because I was so scared to lose him over there, and it was just, I was literally on my own. And like Brayan said, I would call him crying sometimes. Like, like I don't know how I'm gonna get through this because it was just so much, and it was just like. Being over there closed a lot of chapters for me from undergrad. Like undergrad was completely different, and the way undergrad ended, you know, and deciding to like make different changes and make different decisions in my life and stuff like that. And then I graduated during COVID for my master's.
That's I remember that because
so then I feel like I got robbed.
During COVID with my bachelor's. So.
Because we were trying to figure out how we were gonna make each other's graduations.
Al final ni uno tuvo.
We didn't have any graduations, you know. I mean, luckily.
What did they do for y'all?
Nothing. I think we just had like. Well, I'm not gonna say nothing. They did a slideshow of like.
They did that for us too.
Like what we like what we're thankful for, what we got out of the program with a picture of us and.
Dang.
That was it.
At least I asked you.
Well, no, I got to walk the stage in December, like the following month. But I mean, like, and I jumped in the river with my dad. Yeah, because I mean, it's 72 degrees year round over there. So, I still sometimes feel like I didn't get that full on closure from graduating because I didn't get to have my graduate recital, like where I was gonna perform with the Mari-Achis and the salsa band. And do my classical pieces because of COVID. You know, I had to record everything separately. Like,
send it.
Yeah, like I did my classical pieces with the ever so talented Dr. Schmidt. I love him.
That was challenging.
Yeah.
COVID was.
It was sucked. Well, looking back, COVID was like low-key kind of cool. You know, I think. I robbed a lot of us of a lot of things.
It did, but.
But I feel I would go back. I would go back and do everything differently.
Yeah.
You know? Like I would go back and do all the things that I wish I would have done now. Because like now I feel like working a full-time job and then gigging on the weekends, I don't have time to do the stuff that I wish I would have done or I could have done. Like maybe I could have established myself better with social media and stuff like that. You know, like I feel like I would have taken that initiative.
And I kind of feel like that's where I started more with social media during COVID. So I guess in a way that's kind of where all of this started for me. But it just how you said that, it kind of feels like it did robbed us from
I had that conversation with my vocal coach. She's like, do you ever feel like you're kind of still here, like a piece of you is still here? I'm like, yeah, because I feel like I didn't complete my degree to the fullest extent. Yeah. Because I didn't get to do the performance. You couldn't
finish it to the end.
And that's that's your big showcase, you know what I mean? So it was like not getting to do that. And it's different because I had to record everything and submit it, but I had to use tracks as to where you're performing with a live band and like a live mariachi.
Exactly.
It's so different. Like, so I do feel like.
And all your mentors and relatives watching you.
You know, like I was looking forward to having all of y'all there and stuff, and just to show I went through 2 years of hell for this.
Now we're here and it's over.
And it's like
I did it, you know.
Yeah, and I mean I still got to walk the stage. I still have my diploma, You know, I still have those connections, but it still doesn't feel like...
It just doesn't feel like you finished it all the way.
Yeah.
You're first gen too, right?
Yeah, first gen.
Yeah.
First gen through and through. So the stigma...
I feel like that was probably the biggest thing that I took from it. Like that hurt me the most. Because I was the first gen, and for my bachelor's I didn't get to walk because of COVID. So I was like, damn, like all this 5 years of hard work, because it took me 5 years to get my bachelor's. 5 years of hard work, and I don't even get to. I still got my diploma, of course, but I don't even get to like walk the stage, and you know, like that big accomplishment that you know, I just want my parents to watch me walk that stage, you know, like first want to go to college and get a degree. So.
And that's another thing we had bonded on, was the fact that we were both first gen. And it hits harder because it's like, not necessarily, I think we put that pressure on ourselves. Because looking back, like my parents always wanted me to go to school, but like in my head I'm like, oh, I have to go to school, you know. And so like luckily I did get a walk with my bachelor's, and I even went to go see you after.
Oh yeah, because I was
you were at work. You watched me on the live stream,
yeah.
And then I went to go see him after work and stuff.
Yeah.
But it hits different being first gen, because you do feel all those pressures from your family, but also pressures that you put on yourself. Yeah. Because it's just like, they did this for me, like.
And you just want to basically repay them. And
yeah,
you
just
want them
I think a lot about that, like
proud.
Which I know they are. American dream.
Yeah, which I know they are. I know they're proud of us, but it's just, I don't know.
Because COVID didn't just rob us; it robbed them. You know, and that's why I was so excited to get my master's, because like first gen, I was the first person in our family to graduate from college, like from university and stuff like that. But I was also the first to go and get my master's. So I was very excited about that, because I was like, dude, like this is just like, you know, like I have one more, just my PhD, acabé, you know. And it was just like knowing that COVID hit, and then like even everything going online, it was just so weird, because like social media is completely different from being online, I think. You know what I mean? Like you're in class learning as to like having fun and scrolling and stuff, and it was just so much harder. And then like you run the risk of getting sick. You know, at the time we didn't know what was going on. Te da miedo, you know what I mean? And it was just completely different. And it's just like, it was so surreal in that moment of like, oh damn, like everything is online, and we have to be socially distanced and whatnot. And then you go to like no more graduation, and you're like, what do you mean no more graduation? Like,
do you remember what you were doing when they gave you the noticia that they were going to cancel graduation?
I remember more like hearing about my recital, because I had worked. I mean, I was singing 18 songs, like, and I was set, and it was a lot. It was a lot, but I was ready, because, like I said, it was like 2 years of hell, you know. And I was ready to show what I learned, and like everything. It was just so hard being there. And so I was ready to showcase that and whatnot. And I remember I was in my apartment, and my vocal coach called me, and she said, before you get the email, I wanted to call you and tell you personally that your recital is going to be canceled, all recitals. And she's like, and possibly even graduation is going to be canceled at this point. Yeah. And I don't think I cried, because I don't think I cried, because it was just like, I think I saw it. I don't think I saw it coming. I think it hit me more like after we finished recording my videos and submitting them. That's when I cried, because I feel like I would have done so much better had I had the Mari-Achi behind me. The live Mari-Achi, the live salsa, my pianist. That's when
everything you had to work so hard for.
Like, you know, and it just, I still feel like, damn, I just want to have like a mini concert. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me book my things, and I'll just go back, you know? Because it does feel like, and I wasn't the only one. Like my friend Ariana didn't get to have her violin recital. My friend Ivan didn't get to have his voice recital. And, you know, I just saw Ivan like 2 weeks ago. We recorded, and it was different, because I was like, damn, like I haven't seen Ivan like literally play since then. Like play. And he hasn't heard me sing since we were at Texas State together. How I sang in ENMU is completely different how I sang at Texas State to how I sing now. You know, it's Texas State is like very like, we're an HSI, like Hispanic scholarship, whatever. It's like it's a huge supporter of like Hispanics and first gens. Like it's huge. So not that was added pressure, it was just kind of nice like having that support, because like you knew at the end of the day like I'm not the only one. Like at ENMU there was a lot of us that were first gen.
Yeah.
But I think being over there, it was just like you're more supported because like there's more like you.
Tú sentías como que encajabas más.
Yeah. And it was like a thing of like my parents, I literally like when I look back, and aside from like politics and stuff like that, I feel like I have lived as much as I can, like their version of their life for me, like American dream wise, you know? Because looking back, like not going to school was never an option.
No?
No. Like, not because of them, but like just because like I think they instilled it in me so much of like education. Yeah. And that's one thing, like I look back now and like that's another conversation for another day, like generational trauma and like how it's like the expectations on your first gens, you know, it's just like I feel like we've both come from loving families.
Yeah.
Eso no lo niego, you know what I mean? We have the most supportive, like I only have a sister, but like the most supportive sister and parents and brother-in-law. You have the most supportive parents and brothers and sisters, you know?
Yeah.
So it comes down to like where we feel like here's all these things that are expected of you without even saying that you're expected to do them, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like I said, like they always said like education is the first thing that you need to worry about. You know, looking back now, I'm like, I think if I were to have kids, I wouldn't, well, because they wouldn't be first gen first, right? You know?
Yeah,
but it would hit different. Like it would hit different in the sense of like, well, what do you want to do? What do you see yourself doing? Let's lay out those options. As to like, my parents were like, go to school, that's the most important thing. And I'm glad, you know, like I have my master's.
Right.
A lot of people can't say that, you know, and I want to get my PhD eventually, like, you know. And I think to myself, like, being Dr. Hernandez is going to be like, Doctora Hernandez, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I have to switch, you know? Because at Texas State, I had Hispanic or Latino professors that'd be like Marissa, and then I'd have other professors that'd be like Marissa that didn't speak any Spanish. So it's like I know both. So like Doctora Hernandez and Dr. Hernandez, you know.
Yeah. And
it's like my parents aren't pushing me to go and get my PhD. No. That's just something I want to do for myself. But I also think I want to do it for them. Like, like I finished.
But
like
they probably already feel like you getting your bachelor's and your master's.
Oh yeah, they feel like that's
you
enough.
did that for them. You know?
Yeah, but I think that last tier is just like, I want to do it because it's like, you told me to go get an education, and I went above and beyond, and I got all my degrees, and I think it would just be rewarding, you know. But like, I don't need to keep going to school to sink, you know. But it's different. But I don't know. I think if I were to go get my PhD, it would be for the bigger picture. Yeah. Like, yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on that I'm like, that I've seen firsthand where I'm just like, eso no suena bien. And like, the only way to make a difference is to like go to school and have that title, because nowadays, like, if you don't have that title or that degree, ni te pelan, you know. And it's sad because like that's the world we live in.
Tell me a little bit more of the beauties that you saw in Mariachi and what made you actually fall in love with Mariachi.
Okay, so I'm a lyrics girly. I am a Swiftie at heart, and I think that just stems because like a lot of people like they listen to the music or the arrangement, and I understand that because like the arrangements are like que te atiende, right? But to me, when I listen to a song or if a song comes out, the first thing I'll do is I won't listen to the song. I'll look at the lyrics, and I will see how those lyrics apply to me, or how I can relate to them. Or if there was a circumstance in my life that I was like, oh, like that would have hit really good, like when I was going through X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
And with Mariachi music, my mom would always tell me like, oh, nomás canta Mariachi, no hay mucha gente, you know what I mean? Like nomás hablan. I'm like, ew, that's gross. Like, because I think it was because my mom was telling me do it, and I'm like, no, anything you tell me I'm not gonna do. And well, I didn't have a choice. It was either sing Mariachi or salsa, and I'm like, well, Mariachi, Mexico, salsa más puertorriqueños, cubanos, you know, like, so I was just like, okay. I ended up doing both either way. But I mean, for Mariachi, it was like, learning all these songs, like the standards that I should have already known that I didn't know. But it was looking at all the songs and being like, damn, like who hurt him? Like for him to write something like this, or like, oh man, there's just so many songs that I could go through, like that I'm just like, oh, that hurt like so much. Or like,
what's one of your favorite songs to sing, Mariachi?
Oh, there's so many because they're so good. Like
you have to have at least one.
People sleep on mariachi music, dude. Because like I'm just like, bro, it's so good. Like, my favorite to sing is La Diferencia, because I made a few people cry. But like to me, like I love making people cry when I sing. Not because of how I sound, well maybe like a little bit, but más porque like I wonder how that song is applying to them that made them cry. You know, another song that I like, Amor Eterno, like, you know, of course, classic, you know, like I sang that at my grandpa's funeral and stuff, and at other funerals, but Volver Volver is a classic, you know, about like, you know, people think about it as a love song. It was one of my grandpa's favorite songs, so when I sang it at his funeral, like, it just hit so different.
Oh my god.
Because like when you think about it in the sense of like somebody passing away that you love unconditionally, that loved you unconditionally, like, I mean, those lyrics, like you would never think of Volver Volver like as a song to a loved one that's passing away. And so that hits different. So like gigging on the weekends, like when they ask for these songs, I'm just like, I apply it differently. And it's just, I don't know, like it just, mariachi music has found a way to move me musically that I feel like I loved music before, but like mariachi made me fall in love with it more. Because it's just like, aside from it being our culture, you know, I mean, like, damn, like you have like all these people that wrote these like bangers, man, like
classics.
Yeah, like José Alfredo Jiménez, Javier Solís, Pedro Infante, Vicente Fernández, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like Antonio Aguilar, like even now you're just dang, like, and like I love seeing new artists come up, or not new artists, but like these people that are tapping into it, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I hope you're doing it for the right reasons, because you want to explore your culture, not because like mariachi's picking up, you know, and it's becoming a popular thing.
Slowly starting to get popular again. I noticed that a lot too.
And it's awesome to see. But yeah, La Diferencia is a good song, and I think it's just because like when I found that song, it applied to a lot of my life, and it's just like, dang, like that hits. You know? Yeah, like this is, aquí me quedo. It's like I've had where I'm singing, people like, who hurt you? It's like, deja de decir tu nombre. It's like, aquí está la lista. But yeah, I guess like my heartbreak has opened up mariachi, like in that sense of like, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of songs, like you can relate to a lot of songs, but like to me mariachi music, like todo lo que quiero decir, ellos ya lo escribieron y yo lo puedo cantar. And so it's just really pretty to see that. And it's just like the most simple, like a ranchera is so simple, like playing guitar wise, you know what I mean? So like those are real bangers in the sense of like, si la letra está, like la letra tiene que dar. Because if you're just playing a simple arrangement, pues la letra tiene que dar o no va. It's just gonna be not that good of a song.
Just another song. Like
and like to me, like La Diferencia is like that, because it's just your basic ranchera, and so when you sing it or like the lyrics, it's just like, damn, you know, Cuando el Destino is another ranchera that's like, you know, oh man, there's just like so many, you know, and there's other arrangements like faster songs that I like. Así son los hombres. It's a son. So it goes like, hell yeah, sing it, sister. But it's more faster. But it's like words like that. And of course, like you have your love songs. Like, you'll say like, si algún día me caso, or like if I were to like meet somebody, they were to propose to me, like I wouldn't want hermoso cariño like every other person. Like, you know, you see all these proposal videos and it's like they play that song and I'm like, okay, cool. But like, there's more.
There's
like,
there's better ones.
Yo me caso con el que me traiga serenata con la Sabes una cosa.
I don't think I've heard
Sabes una cosa, dude. such a badass song. I would marry a guy.
That song?
No. And then to me, I'm just like, it's such a pretty song. Like, I would marry whoever did that for me.
So if you're watching,
he has to be in tune. He has to be singing in tune. Y si él no está cantando, que me traiga uno que sí canta afinado. Yeah, but sabes una cosa, like, that's why I'm just like, oh, like, I understand y'all know all these like standards, but it's like if you listen to it more, and I was the same way. Like I just knew the standards, you know, for the longest time until I started gigging, and they were like, oh, like, can you do this one and this one? I'm like, oh, what's that one? You know, and Kepa's a pretty song, you know what I mean? Like, or you see like anniversaries, like Mi Linda Esposa. I'm just like, oh, that's so cute, you know, like they give me hope.
When you were in San Marcos, did you do a lot of gigging over there?
I never gigged.
No?
I never gigged until I moved over here.
What?
Yeah, because I didn't play anything.
Oh, that's true.
So I didn't start taking guitar lessons until my last semester of undergrad, or of my master's program, and that was during COVID.
Right.
Which I ended up stopping because I was like, I'm trying to maneuver like
school online
yeah. As well as this
as a vocal performance online, like that's
this global disease that's killing people, and then guitar lessons. It was just like, it was a lot to navigate, and since I'm sick now, I'm sick all the time. You know, I do get sick pretty frequently.
Really,
so it's just like I was trying to figure everything out, and then I remember I didn't gig until, I think I've been gigging for only 2 years.
2 years almost?
It doesn't feel like that. It feels like I've been doing it a lot longer.
So for the 2 years that after COVID, when you graduated and moved back, what were you doing those 2 years?
Those 2 years, let me see, I moved back. Oh, I was spending my time, I was taking classes. I restarted my guitar lessons, and then I started going to the classes at Texas Tech. I was a community member for their Mari-Achi program. And so I got to, because I already had taken lessons, I knew all my chords, I knew all my manicos. It was just applying them in a group setting, you know, because it's like there's only so much I can do just playing with the recording and like yo solita. And so my guitar instructor was like, oh, pues vente, like, you know, that way you can learn how to play with the group setting and listen to like other people. That way you can learn to be like play with them too, and they can learn to follow you or you follow them. And yeah, that's kind of what set me in like that. And so I was at Texas Tech for 2 years as well. I might as well have just gone to school there.
Yeah, might as well.
Because I was here in Lubbock Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, I remember that.
I might as well have just enrolled because
yeah.
I was, yeah.
Could have gotten another master's in those.
I would have gotten another master's. I could have been halfway done with my PhD at that point.
That's true.
Yeah, and I enjoyed my time at Tech for the most part. Like, I don't think I would have been able to gig. I would have never gigged if I would have never gone to Tech, because the person that got me in my very first gigging group went to Tech. Okay. His name's Jerry. He played violin, and he was like, just come play with us, like go to my group rehearsals, you know. And I was like, okay. And then so I'd go with them to their group rehearsals, and then like, oh, do you, like, the offer came, like, do you want to gig with us on the weekends? And so that's the first group I started gigging with, and then I did that, and then I kind of took a break because I was like, I just need to chill. I needed to kind of refigure out everything. And then another guy that I had met through that first gigging group had asked me like, hey, do you think you can help us out? You know, I only have a male singer, I need a female singer, and I need a guitar player. And so I was like, yeah. So he calls me pretty frequently. That is like the person I usually gig with. I freelance. I'll go with anybody who calls me, you know, as long as you pay me my rate. But he's good about paying me what I ask and whatnot. So yeah, those 2 years were spent at Tech and growing that and networking and stuff.
Building those connections so that you could branch out.
Yeah, and like it was. I think Texas State was like my foundation of Mari-Achi, and like learning the music and learning how to sing the music. And then at Texas Tech, it was like because I made a lot of relationships at Texas State and networked a lot at Texas State, but I got to continue doing that at Texas Tech. Okay. You know, so I was very grateful for that as well.
So that's basically where it started, and then whenever you moved back and you were going to Tech, you were basically like, okay, let's apply all those skills here.
Yeah.
And then go out there.
And it helped because like, obviously Texas Tech was still like like after COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was even in their Zoom meetings because my guitar instructor was in charge of doing that stuff too. So he was like, just come join the Zoom. And so it was like a lot of come and do X, Y, and Z. Like me invitaba. And I'm glad because at that point, like, since I had like such a rough time at Texas State, I was like, I'm done. Like, yo ya no quiero hacer nada con Mari-Achi, ya me cansé, you know, and he was really adamant about like, no, like, just keep doing it, just keep doing it. And I was just like, como
tell us a little bit about those rough patches that you had with Texas State within the Mariachi program that made you think that.
Looking back, I feel like I was frowned upon because I didn't play anything, and because, you know, like, to hear like, oh, she doesn't sound Mariachi, like, it really messed with me because it's just like, am I wasting all my time and money, you know? And
but you still did it, you know, you finished and everything.
But it was like being like outcasted, like me dejaban, like no me invitaban a hacer cosas, like you know, when I was talking to people from there, like when I was telling them like what was going on, like the salsa part of it all, they were like, you're being bullied, and I was just like, please don't say that, like, because I was just like, is this real life? Like, so here I am, the oldest one in the program, and I'm being bullied. And it was like also a thing like
these younger kids getting their bachelors while
you're
getting a master's.
And it's like, to me, like, I never thought of myself better than them because I already had my bachelor's. Like, if anything, like, I not that I looked up to them, but I respected them, that the fact that they had so many years
of
doing it. So like, I was like, como no me voy a, I felt very like insecure because I'm like, they've been doing it for so long. But it didn't help that like a lot of them, or most of them, are mean, or like me dejaban afuera, like they wouldn't invite me to do things. Like I could walk into a room and you could hear a pen drop from how they would just start talking. Yeah, and it really sucked because it was just like, in undergrad, like our program was small, pero nos llevamos todos bien. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I liked ENMU because like
it's so much smaller.
It's so much smaller, and it's more like
a closer connection.
Yeah, and so that's what I expected. Like, and I did have that kind of at the beginning. Like more family oriented, like student wise, but it was just like it became an issue, and I was just like, you know, and I mean that's why Brayan would get my phone calls of me crying because I was just like, ya no quiero hacer esto, like they're telling me X, Y, and Z, and like I feel X, Y, and Z too, and it's just like, like when I look back, like I feel like I was like targeted, and not because of any other reason aside from like. I think I was just looked down on because like I didn't play and sing at the same time. I didn't, you know, and it was just very hard. And that's why I started taking guitar lessons, because I was just like, I don't want them to be able to tell me anything. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to play at Texas State. Hi. Come here. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to play at Texas State because like they had been playing for years, you know what I mean? But it was still a thing of like, I wanted them to see that I was putting the initiative to play, even when I didn't have to prove myself to anybody, you know? It was just very like those comments, like, and that comment still sticks with me, of like, she doesn't sound Mariachi. And I was just kind of like, but who are you to say that?
Where's the book?
Yeah, and it's just like there is
says
no
there's
book.
a certain sound that you're supposed to sound like.
Classically, you can tell me that all the time. You know what I mean? But like, and that's what made me want to quit Mariachi, because it was just so much on my plate, and I was just like, I couldn't win. I couldn't make anybody happy, not them. You know, it even came time to where like I would tell my professors like, I'm being bullied or and I'm feeling some type of way.
Did you do anything about it?
At first, no.
No,
because they were like, it's all in your head, and that's when I lost my shit, because I was like, no, it is not.
Wow, you basically shared a lot about the mariachi industry, and you've obviously been in it for so long.
From when I started at Texas State, it would be 6 years.
6 years?
Because I started in 2018.
Yeah, 6 years.
But gigging wise, nomás dos. But in total 6. Like from being at Texas State to being at Texas Tech.
Yeah, because you graduated during COVID. I was thinking when I graduated, I was like, I graduated 4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it.
Yeah.
Because that's when I started at Tech.
Okay, so 6 years in the mariachi industry, and obviously you've talked a lot about the goods and the bads and the struggles at the beginning and kind of where you are now. So we're getting close to the end of this episode, Mocosas, but I think Blue's ready to go. He's ready to go. Obviously, we're probably gonna need a second part part two,
where we actually talk Toxica things.
Toxica things, because Toxica talks, because Mari-Achi in general, like there's a lot to be talked about.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about everybody. Muchas cosas.
Well, you've been doing it for 6 years, and I just want to leave you with this question. Where do you see yourself professionally in the next 5 or 10 years?
Primeramente Dios, voy a estar cantando. I want to sing. I want to be a mariachi singer. Como Ángel Aguilar, Majo Aguilar, Becky G's even tapping into the mariachi side. That's what I want to do. I want to be a singer. I've always wanted to be a singer, pero más mariachi porque es mi cultura, ya tengo la experiencia. I love everything about it. So if I were 5-10 years, I would see myself being a mariachi singer con mi propio grupo, going with me on tour, doing all these things. Not only because I love to sing and that's what I want to do, it's also a way to promote our culture, and to bring awareness, and also to help our community and to be like, there's pretty sides of Mexico también, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just tacos en tequila, también tenemos la música y también, pues somos personas que amamos nuestra cultura and like, this is a piece of what we love. So I would say that's what I would, God willing, primeramente Dios, eso voy a hacer. Pero también quiero, like I said, I would go back to school and get my PhD, honestly.
So if you get your PhD and you don't do singing, why do you?
Oh no, that's not an option.
That's not an option.
I have to sing.
So you want to get the PhD just to get the PhD?
I think I want to get the PhD because I see the bigger picture and I want to help other first-gen students and other students in general see that Mari-Achi, like our culture, is a pathway to higher education. Like you can go to college with a Mariachi scholarship nowadays, and I think that's so cool. That is cool. And like you can do X, Y, and Z, and you can make a difference, and you can do all of these things through Mariachi, through our music, through our culture. So I am a big advocate towards going and getting my PhD for that reason. Because I've seen the good and the bad and the ugly of it all, and being at Texas State and being at Texas Tech has served me with seeing the insides and outs, and seeing different perspectives of those two completely different universities. And unfortunately, I have seen the ugly. So there's a lot of things that I would change, or that I would like to change, and I know that I need the title for that and stuff. And like, especially como mujeres, nos tenemos que cuidar más, and that's unfortunate, pero es la verdad.
Yeah.
And
it's a male-dominated industry.
It's a male-dominated genre, for sure. Genre. And so, like, music industry is hard, but doing it in a male-dominated, it's so much harder. And so to me, it's like there's so many things that I would add and so many things that I would do, and I say this all the time. Everybody talks about los maestros in Mariachi, but let's talk about the monsters in Mariachi también.
And we'll just leave you with that for that part 2 one day, because...
Yeah, that's a whole different topic. But yeah, that's what I would see myself with. Doing singing, but also being a pathway, whether it was through my PhD or just in general. Maybe I would make it as big as I want as a singer, to where I wouldn't have to go back to school, to be able to pave that way. And to bring awareness and do that. I think like that's main goal. And then like if I can't be making a difference with just being a singer and a role model and an advocate, then that's when I would go like the PhD route.
The PhD route. That's good. Well, it's so sad to even think about the ugly and the bad in the industry. Pero eso hay en todo. Yeah, I mean that's everywhere. That's true. That's for sure. But anyways. Thank you so much for
having me.
Being here and sharing with us and getting a little vulnerable, talking a little bit about your grandfather's passing and how a lot of that music just touches your heart and all that that stuff. So I do want to thank you for that, for trusting me and trusting my little platform that we got right here. So thank you. And,
para próximo traigan la guitarra.
Sí, para que nos cantes.
I'll sing. We'll have a mini jam session with Roberto.
Yes, and we'll have to have Roberto on the next episode too. So thank you guys so much for watching and all the love and support you guys been giving to all the other videos, guys. If you guys want to go and follow Marissa, I will go ahead and drop all her socials down below on the description of this video.
I will be posting.
And I will be on her ass about posting more
covers,
on social media because obviously you need to get out there. You need to get out there.
I promise I sing pretty. No es porque somos amigas.
But thank you so much, Mocosas. Y ya saben, cualquier chismecito me hablan y me saludan a sus tías. Bye.